Aldermen, this is to continue a recess meeting. Tonight is May the 19th, 2025. If you'll join Alderman Parker in prayer and pledge.
Thank you, Father, for this day. We thank you for your mercy and your grace. We ask you to look over us tonight as we make decisions for the city, that we look at it and do what's best for all of the city. We ask you to bless the first responders, our military and their families. In Jesus Christ's name and for his sake, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody, to a strange Monday night recess meeting. We apologize for this, but some of us will be leaving in the morning to go to Washington, D.C. to try to see what we could do for some additional funding for the city. Roll call vote. Patrick? Here. Pete? Here. Donald? Here. And Mr. Brown is out tonight, and Tim? Here. Angie? Here. And Bernie? Present. All right, we do have a quorum. I do have a public hearing. It's at 104 8th Street, assessed to Scott and Branca Ian. Go ahead, Ms. Clerk.
Notice of hearing was posted on subject property, 104 8th Street, Long Beach, Mississippi, on May 2nd, 2025, by Zoning Enforcement Officer Dale Stogner, and mailed to Scott and Branca Ian of 6826 Court Diego, Carlsbad, California, 92009. Said notice was delivered May 6, 2025.
Okay. Need a motion to
Motion.
suspend.
Second.
We got a motion, a couple seconds to spread. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, Ms. Erin Brown, the property manager, is here to speak on behalf of the property.
Okay, Ms. Brown, would you come to the mic and speak?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm a little nervous. Yes, so my name is Erin Brown. I am one of the property managers for Billy Hughes Real Estate. We did give the tenant a 2-week notice to have the trailers removed from the property. She explained to us that she would. I did a drive-by last Thursday just to follow up and notice that the trailers still had not been removed. I spoke with her physically on the phone this morning. She stated that the company or the gentleman that was supposed to be moving the trailers as of Friday or Thursday of last week, the truck broke down, and that he was supposed to go out in the morning. So as far as me verifying who she spoke to and who's supposed to actually be going to the property to physically remove them, I have to say I have not spoken to this individual. I don't know who or what that company is. But on the flip side of things, like I said, we've given her 2 weeks. So tomorrow we do plan to file for eviction for the tenant.
I rode by there a few times, and then on the way here, they're still there.
Yes, ma'am.
And it looks like somebody is actually
Living in the, yes, and when I went, I did actually, when I went to speak with the resident, there was a gentleman that was exiting one of them as I was standing there, so I understand.
When they living in, huh?
Well, appreciate you
Yes.
making the contact and getting something initiated, because that was pretty startling to some of those residents around there, how they just kind of pushed them up in there, and
Correct.
we're going to start residency in them.
Yes, yes.
And you say you will begin an eviction notice?
Yes.
Process tomorrow, yes. She's already been notified. I just have to go file the paperwork. I had to wait, the time frame for me to do so.
Okay. I'll make a motion. Well,
We gotta close this.
do you have anybody else that wants?
Yeah, does anybody speak for or against this property? Anybody else? All right, hearing none, go ahead, Donald.
I'll make a motion that we close.
Second it.
Got a motion second to close the public hearing. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we adjudicate and have Ms. Brown give Mike Gunlock her contact, and
But
she
Mike's
can-
right here.
Okay,
our building official.
okay, okay.
So I make a motion we adjudicate, but before we enforce moving, that Mike has 2 weeks to work with her to get an update on the process.
Report back at the next board meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we got a second on that, Patrick? Yes. All right, do we have any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Just
Thanks.
stay in
So real
contact
quick,
with
yeah,
Mike.
if you'll just talk with Mike, and you guys will go forward with this, and he has everything for the city side to handle.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
guys.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving forward, announcements, presentation, and proclamation?
There are no public comments.
No public comments, I'm sorry. Do we have anyone here from Vitiligo Beautified Foundation in Mississippi? Okay.
Yeah.
We will make sure they get this proclamation. All right, moving forward, any amendments to the municipal docket? Hear none. Moving forward, approval of minutes, Mayor and Board of Aldermen, May the 6th, 2025 regular and executive session, and the May the 13th, 2025 work session. Motion second for approval and discussion.
Move.
Got any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Planning and Development Commission, May the 8th, 2025 regular meeting. A motion second for discussion and approval.
I'd like to make a motion to approve everything except number 1 under new business. I'd like to pull that out and discuss it separately.
All right, we have
Second his motion.
I got a motion and a second to approve all but number 1 under new business. Is there any more discussion on that? Hear none. All those in favor of that? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we go back to the one, item 1 under new business. Motion and second for discussion.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Going through the minutes, I think, I've reached out to a few tree board members today, and I think they made the right decision on not approving the removal of this tree. And it doesn't appear to be causing any damage, so I'll make a motion to deny the tree removal.
Second.
All right, we got a motion and a second, and this is the one at 114
Correct.
Sedgwick Drive, to be denied the approval that was
Correct.
granted by the tree board.
Granted by the planning commission.
Zoning and planning.
I meant zoning planning, yeah. Correct. Okay. All right. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Timmy. Next, we have approved docket of claims 052025. Motion second for discussion and approval.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Under unfinished business, Casting Point Phase 6, I would like to request that we table this to the next meeting. I would like to have David Ball, our city engineer, present when we discuss that. Can I entertain a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have subdivision ordinance and setbacks. We have discussed this prior to. I don't know, Tyler, do you have anything on that? Do we need to wait and discuss that, move that further along when David's here?
The Casting Point Island?
Yes.
Yes, sir. We have a cost estimate to, yeah, we have a cost estimate to remove the curb and gutter and replace that with asphalt.
Talking about an item that's
It's under
on the agenda.
engineering.
No,
Yeah,
different-
that's further down in there. We were just talking about an ordinance that we were wanting to write up and put in our subdivision ordinance about islands going in on drives. So we'll get to that later on. Mike, do you have anything that anybody's come up with on that?
No, sir.
All right, well, I would request a motion second, that we table this one also to the next meeting, but we also give the directions for our building code office to work with engineering and come back with a proposal. I'll be glad to discuss that with y'all on Friday morning when I'm back in the office. There's certain things I'd like to look with. I know we have one on Pineville Road going into one of the pecan parks where the the roads are wider and the island is sit further back, that would eliminate the problems that we're having now. So I want to look at all those things to put in there. Yeah.
Just to further elaborate what the mayor's talking about, it's, if you go into any one of these entrances of the neighborhoods and you have an island and a truck comes through and it takes out either the neighborhood sign or half of the bushes or shrubbery that's out there, we're gonna do what we can to make sure that that trucks have ample room, or larger vehicles have ample room to come in and out. And that will also, Mr. Mayor, if I'm correct, that will also help with the La Rosa turning issue as well, when we're working on things like this.
Correct, right. We're trying to eliminate these possible developments coming up in the future, developments.
Correct.
So, okay, do I have a motion second to table this?
You have one now.
Need a
I make the
second.
motion.
Got a motion second to table. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have cemetery plot, Alderman McGooey.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I would yield to council with regards to the proper protocol in this regard. What I'd like to propose is that at the bottom of ordinance 668, we add an addendum. Now, understand that if we are going to amend an ordinance that probably, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, requires a public hearing. However, it's not going to require a public hearing if this board doesn't see fit to move forward with the process for accommodating indigency in this regard. So what I'd like to do, and Mayor, you can direct me, is with regards to what you need a motion. I'd like to have something at the end of ordinance 668, and I'll try not to be wordy, but that would say something to this effect. A variance to the aforementioned fees based on indigency may be available to Long Beach residents only through an application process. The application is subject to review and disposition by the current Board of Aldermen on a case-by-case basis. Determinations made in these matters are not to be interpreted as precedent-setting and are derived from information contained in each individual application. That way, it offers the opportunity for someone, in the rare instance we do have an indigency request, and it also offers us as a board in the city protections with regards to the possibility of it becoming habitual. So I'd like to make a motion, if that's proper, that we go forward with the application process with regards to indigency on cemetery fees.
All right, Pete, I have a motion. Do we have a second to continue forward?
I'll second it.
We've got a second discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Pete.
So now do we need to set up a public hearing for that, George?
Don't we have to work on the wording first to finalize the word?
It's going to have to be.
If I may, Mayor, it sounds, Alderman McGooey said, let me submit to the council, to the board, a proposed amendment to the ordinance 658, and we can have a hearing on that, and then that needs to be published, I believe, Keeney.
Yes.
And have that hearing, and upon, if the board's desires to approve that amendment, this application will already have been approved by the board to serve that amendment. So I'll have to get the amended ordinance to you.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
If you want to put it on the next agenda,
Yeah.
we'll have,
okay.
can you give me that wording you
I'll
requested?
send it to you.
All right, thank you.
We talked about Mayor?
We'll talk about that in the public hearing.
Yeah. Never mind.
All right, let me catch myself up. We're to the under unfinished business paving plan. Alderman Brown is not here. I have submitted to each one of y'all tonight what myself and Courtney have done in looking at the surface plan that was given to us, the road surface plan that was given to us by SMPDD. We've also looked at what Public Works has given us. We have driven around and evaluated each one of the roads, and this is just from my perspective to submit to you of what I would consider, and I would ask you before the next meeting to review what we have done and add or take away from this list and bring it back to the next meeting to be ready to move forward with recommendations on roads so that we can go ahead and get something going with our road paving as quick as possible. This is all taken from the list that was given to us about a month ago from David Ball, that like I said, it includes the SMPDD list with the road ratings on there. If you refer back to the one he gave you, you'll see the road surface ratings, the RSR there.
So, Mr. Mayor, remind me, you and I were having a discussion, a lot of these, because of the ratings, does it or does it not take into account the traffic as well? The SMPDD study?
I don't believe it did.
I don't think.
Looking at these, it does not.
Okay.
Took in the condition of the road. Now, you got a lot of these roads that are on here are very small roads.
Yeah, no, I don't have an issue with that. I'm
I'm
going
just-
because here's the thing something that this board or the next board is gonna have to consider is because of the work that's been going on or has needed, the train crossings.
Right.
Our main crossing forever has been Jeff Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And some upkeep is gonna be needed to be done on that.
Absolutely.
I know that we.
Absolutely.
Not on this list, we've also, have we issued, the west side of Railroad?
No,
I
we
mean,
have
yeah, west side of,
West Railroad from Jeff Davis West, no, or from Pineville West, no, we haven't issued that yet. We were waiting to find out about the bypass lanes at the White Harbor and Railroad.
Gotcha.
And, with their engineering's working on that.
Okay.
And as soon as they could give us, a feedback on that, we could go ahead and move forward, with those
yeah.
improvements as a
Because
bypass and move
I
forward with that.
100% think that
Yeah.
we need to start on
And-
that,
well,
the Railroad
yeah,
Street. Now, it's gonna be a pain in the butt for our citizens, but it's something that needs to be done.
Be done.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have any wagon trails to drive through to bypass everything, so we
Yeah,
just
I
do
get
what
it.
we gotta do to get the improvements to happen. A lot of these small roads that are on here may have 3 or 4 houses on it. But you look at those roads, they haven't been paved probably
The
since
90s.
before we annexed
Yeah.
in the early 80s. And that's quite a bit of taxes that's been paid by those citizens. And I think, my view is they deserve to have a road paved, whether it's, a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile long, or it's 500 feet long. So we need to consider all those when you're looking at it. If you get the opportunity, just, pull the list, add what you want to it, and get out and drive them.
Yeah.
And take a look. So, we'll bring that back up at the next board meeting.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, y'all okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next under new business, Jeff Davis Avenue signage. And this is kind of, this is a two-way. When I say signage, I'm not only talking about the signs of the businesses, but I'm talking about the trees that are there, that are blocking the signages. And we get a lot of complaints here at City Hall about trees that are blocking their signs and of their businesses. And I would, I'd entertain, any suggestions. I don't know about removing trees. I don't know, what the feeling of the boards, and that's what, when Courtney and I were discussing this, I said, I think I'd rather get the feeling of the board on this. Donald, you ready to
I
jump
don't
on
mind,
something?
I don't mind speaking about trees at all. So I guess what I was thinking about, because of the fact that these, not only the crepe myrtles, but the oak trees were planted when we redid Jeff Davis Avenue. What I would look at is two things. First, an idea of maybe contacting Mississippi State. Maybe one of their groups could help us with a multi-year tree plan, and I don't, a lack of words, but a tree plan of, this is when you need to cut them back, this is how you cut them back, whether it be, for example, February and October, or March and November, something to that effect. Then when we have complaints on it, or we have issues, we know that we've done everything we can for the health of these trees.
And also.
And now if, I guess, sorry to cut you off there, Angie, but my second point or second suggestion is, if Mississippi State can't or won't help us, that we look at a local arborist and look at a fee for that. And that way, we talk about these transportation studies and things like that. At least we'll have on the books a tree study.
And also, if they can evaluate, I know where the trees are great, but a lot of them are breaking the concrete, and there are some places, I know people have tripped and have had falls down at different spots, Town Green, some on Jeff Davis. If there's a way they can figure out, I mean, I don't know if adding more concrete to smooth it out, that just seems to me like it would kill the roots, but just to address that also, because I do know there are several places around that have, the raised concrete from the roots and stuff.
And we've had to deal
Whether we
with those.
mitigate that with, those concrete urns that you can plant a lot of things in that don't break up the concrete. I hate getting rid of trees or anything, but just to see what we can do about the root system, and also can we maybe just do concrete urns with gorgeous plants and stuff throughout.
And
Yeah.
like it's, with the oak trees, like on Jet, I mean, if you go to any
It's in the
city that's got old ones, just gotta watch your step. The concrete's gonna be busted up. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you choose between having them or straight sidewalks, I guess, that's
Yeah,
one of those
there's not
things.
gonna be a perfect answer,
Not a whole bunch
because
you can do.
Well-
just for the sheer fact of, you got live oaks out there, okay?
Well, maybe
High step.
right now, can we just go put flags, just so people are aware?
No.
Just, those little just some flags or something to make people aware of where
Flags
they're
just gotta-
walking, because some people aren't looking down.
They gotta start.
I mean, it would look bad. I mean, they're gonna be all over the place,
Place
but
that's where I was going with it.
Some of us that walk under a tree looking for that limb to hit us in the head, while other people are looking to trim. So we need to do both.
One thing to think about, I've done this on a number of roads and sidewalks when we're putting trees in. We'll go get sheet metal and dig down beside them, and the roots will go down instead of under the sidewalk, breaking it up.
That may be
We've
it.
had to do that in a lot of.
That may be,
You are.
I think
I
we're a little
like-
late on that part. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I
at
think-
least on like the oak trees down there, I mean,
yeah, we
they're
may
what,
be.
20 years old now, so
I,
they're in there.
I think that from my standpoint, I would like to do what Donald said and reach out to Mississippi State Extension Services
look at it all.
and see if we could bring them in here and talk to them about what they have to offer, if they have anything, and if they do, look and see. Usually there's no charge on their assistance, but if there is, get that and bring it back to the board for us to be able to talk with them and sit down and maybe if it works out, we do formulate a maintenance plan on the trees, when to trim, how much to trim back, and such as that. If that'd be the pleasure of the board, I'd
Well,
move.
that's my, I'll make that motion.
All right. Got a motion and a second to move forward with the contacting Mississippi State Extension Services. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next, authorize advertisement for engineering RFP Cleveland Road widening and Cleveland and Railroad intersection, and establish a selection committee.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. In discussion, we need to establish committee. Before, we have always had myself, usually we have engineering, and Joe Culpepper's been involved, and
Aldermen in the past. I think we had a committee with 3 aldermen, you, Joe,
David?
and Griff was in on
Griff,
some of
yeah,
them.
Griff, that's the one, that's what I was trying to
Yeah.
think who it is. So I would recommend, I don't know who the aldermen were that were, I had Donald was in there, and I think Timmy was in there, and Bernie, I think you were involved in those.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, but if I'm wrong, y'all correct me. If it's the pleasure of the board, we'll have those same members on that review committee.
I'll make that motion.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Is this a substitute motion?
We'll just add it to
Oh, just add to that motion?
establish, yeah.
Okay, that the committee be made up of those that were just announced, being myself, David Ball, Joe Culpepper, Griff Skelly, Donald Frazier, Timmy, and Bernie. Okay? All right, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Special event app and fee waiver request, Praise in the Park. This is submitted by Ms. Mag Holland.
Motion.
We got motion, a couple seconds to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have a municipal polling locations, Alderman Gooey.
Thank you, Mayor. As this board is aware, we had a work session last week. Circuit Clerk Justin Wetzel was here as a guest. He actually provided maps that I held on to with regards to the county polling locations. I think it was the consensus during that work session that we were trying to, first of all, eliminate confusion with regards to where you're supposed to vote in any given election. And the second thing we were trying to do is eliminate polling places that are right slap in the middle of the school zone. And with input from Patrick, who is employed by the school system, he informed us truthfully that the school is not interested in having a polling location. They want to conduct business without that interference. I would like to propose that we, in order to accommodate those needs and the expressions of what that work session amounted to, is that we move forward with contacting the Secretary of State's office, inform them that we wish to mirror the county polling locations, which I believe you said Ward 1 and 2 was the Methodist Church.
Correct.
3 and 4 was St. Thomas School,
Yes.
Parish Life Center.
Yes.
And 5 and 6 would be the Senior Citizen Center. Justin informs us that that would probably eliminate 90% or include 90% of the voters here in the city. And there's some outliers there, but when it came time down the road to do some redistricting, we could keep that in mind. But I would like to propose, I'd like to make a motion that we contact the Secretary of State's office and move forward with the City of Long Beach mirroring the county polling locations.
I think, hold on, I think we might have said which number's wrong. I don't think it was 1 and 2 together, right? It was 1 and,
Thank you.
I could, let me see.
The three polling spots were, Pete had them correct, were
St. Thomas.
St. Thomas, the Methodist Church, and the Senior Center.
Right.
And this would alleviate about 90 to 90% of the problem for people having to vote in two different locations.
You've got,
Depending on whether it be a county election, a state election, or a federal election. And he'll correct.
this will require us sending out new voter registrations.
For everyone,
Yeah,
yes.
the county will do that, but at our
County will do
expense.
that at our expense.
Yes,
Now,
he
there's
did explain
some,
that.
some, when you look at the county map and you go to the city's ward map, there's some areas in there, like Ward 4, gonna have to, a small section, it's gonna have to move somewhere else, and a bigger section somewhere else. So we need to be sure that we've got all that marked out.
It would also cut down on the cost of our elections.
Right, I agree 100%.
And we also discussed signage. Like, people would drive up to St. Thomas and see this little piece of paper on the door and not readable. So we discussed big signage, the first few times, reminding people where to go, and doing the campaign to let them know. The county would send out stuff, but we need to be promoting it too, but the big signs letting people know where to go so they can see it.
1 and 4.
Whatever effort we can make to get more people to turn out and exercise their rights as citizens to vote. And that's what we're trying to do here, to make it as easy as possible and make sure that we could get them to one location and not confuse them between city and then the county state elections.
And I will say our turnout was substantially higher in this last election than it was the previous. I think it was like, not double, but close. I mean, it went from like 13%
Yeah.
to 20-something.
Yeah, we did go up 13.
I will try to get the locations correct this time, and correct me if I'm wrong. Wards 2 and 3 would be St. Thomas, 4 and 1 would be at the Methodist Church, 5 and 6 would be at the Senior Citizen.
Right. So that's a motion and a second to move forward with contacting the Secretary of State.
I have a first, we didn't get a
Yeah,
second.
well,
I'll
we didn't
second.
get a-
I'll second.
No, you made the first, no.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Make the second.
No, Pete made,
I'm messing with you.
I made some kind of
Yeah,
motion.
we got first and
Keep up
second.
with
Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all for y'all's work on this at the work session. I think we're heading in the right direction. Next, we have maintenance service agreement, Taylor Sudden Service, Police Department generators. Any motion, second, discussion, and approval?
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I kind of was looking at this and and I asked Keeney to pull our, all of our our maintenance.
Maintenance
Most of them go through July 1, start on July 1. This one's a little bit different. What I'd like to do is see if we can't, for the fact of 2 weeks, maybe table this until the next meeting to find out if we can't get all of our generators. This is just for the police department, right?
Right, yeah.
when did these expire?
Didn't we all get on the same plane?
We did,
There-
but the police department,
They
was the
have
only
a
one that got
separate
theirs
one.
in.
Yeah, I thought we were all on the same.
Yeah, usually
See,
they send all
I
of them.
thought, and that's where I'm coming from, Griff, I thought all of them were, I thought they were,
October 1st?
I thought they were all together except for the senior center because that's
Still
under
under warranty. That
was
manufacturer warranty.
Right. That was still under
So,
warranty.
so I,
What are all the rest of them?
well, you got City Hall,
What's their agreement date? I mean, their service period date?
July 1.
Yeah, but I think what he's saying, just saying is all of them weren't included like they were last time. Last time we renewed City Hall, Police Department, Fire Department all at the same time, but Taylor did not send all of those this time. But I agree with, July 1st to June 30.
Right, it's the same time, but we only have one.
So let's-
Instead of just piecemealing it,
Do them all at one time?
do them all at one
So we'll
time.
table it and I'll
understand what
reach out
you're
to him and get the rest
I
of
would
them.
definitely.
Okay.
There are 2 at the police
Yes,
station?
I believe so.
And at the same time, we need to get with Bob Paul and find out when the
Yeah, I
service
just,
on that one.
because
does,
here's
so
the
we can
thing,
make
is
it
it's
all
gonna
the same.
get confusing if you do one this month, one next month, one in 3 weeks.
Well, we can
and
do-
The
we
odds
can
are
do-
we're gonna miss one.
We can get it straightened out for the next board meeting.
That's your motion? is
Yes, sir,
table?
that's my
All right,
substitute motion.
Council, you have something you wanted to bring up? You were looking like-
The chief and I were talking about that. I think the reason the terms were staggered, it coincided with when some warranties expired on some installation. It had a warranty for a specific period of time, and at the expiration of that warranty was when the maintenance was gonna pick up, which is why they were not identical.
And that's, we need to check with Bob on the new one there, because if it's got another 9 months on it, we need to go ahead and prepare when we do
I
this.
just checked it and it's getting ready
In
to run.
All right, well, if it's getting ready to run out, we need to add it to
Approved
this
them
too.
all at the same time. I misspoke about the
Here's what I
dates.
think happened too, also along with what council say.
Okay.
I think the police department already had a
Right,
contract.
in place.
And then, excuse me, we added the city on to the rest of it, and I think they fit us in where they could.
Okay.
And, I
Okay,
just
we
think
got
that's how it falls out, because I think the fire department's already been done this year.
You're talking about the scheduling of the maintenance. We're talking about the terms of the contract.
Service contract,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was separate. My
They're all
apologies.
on the same schedule for
Yeah.
terms.
Yeah, July 31st, 2025, so we have some time.
So we just need to get them all together.
Well, this one, well, if you look at them, so while we're still talking about it, this one is the standby generator maintenance. This contract is August 1st of 2024 through July 31st, 2025. And then
so they do
this
have
one
one
is
different-
July 1st through June 30th, 2024 through 2025.
that would go
That's
back to what
police
Chief
department, this is city hall. Fire department is August 1st
Yeah, I don't
through
have all that.
July 31st.
He's looking at the old
I
ones from
had,
last year.
I had Keeney pull the
Yeah, 'cause I
ones
don't
that
have
are
any of those.
currently in effect. So, this is the fire department again. Fire department, you have multiple locations. So that's what I'm just saying, is if we could get them all uniform, get them all in at the same time, I think that would be beneficial for us.
All right, so we got a motion second to bring this together for the next meeting and have it approved then for all of them at one time for July 1 to June the 30th. Okay. Any more discussion?
Yes, sir.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, department business, mayor's office. You've all got your packets of the resume from that's submitted for the school board.
Patrick's gone.
Let the
Sorry,
record show.
Patrick, I forget. I apologize. That's my fault. So we've all got our packets with the exception of Patrick and, of course, Mike Brown. I would like to request we set an interview date and move forward with this appointment. What dates you got available?
See, we're currently on the 19th, and we have to appoint on the June 3rd meeting, so you would have the rest of this week, or ideally, next week.
Next week, how about we're closed on the 26th, on the 27th, we'll be open. There's no board meeting, the city hall's open. How about the 27th?
Good with that.
That's a Tuesday night, and we can start there. I don't remember what the limit was on the interview time. It was 10
Last time, I
minutes?
think we did 15, every 20 minutes we set one.
All right, well,
Starting
let's
at 5?
Start at 5 and schedule them out every 20 minutes.
Don't change it, but I'll be in the middle of the Caribbean and unable to attend.
Don't be rubbing it in.
Quit bragging.
Don't be rubbing it in. All right, so I need a motion and second to set the interview
Second.
for May the 27th, beginning at 5 p.m. in 20-minute intervals. Motion and second. Any more discussion? Here none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, personnel, police department, step increase 5.
We gotta get Patrick.
Oh, let me get Patrick back in here.
Just leave him back there a little while.
I'll start over. I'm sorry, Patrick. All right, moving forward again, personnel. Police department, step increase, we have 5, 1 new hire. Fire department, step increase of 2. Municipal court, new hire of 1. And motion second, take all these as one.
Move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. City clerk, budget amendment FY '25, police and fire department. Motion second, discussion and approval.
So move.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Mayor, this is just grant money that's being moved, correct?
That's it.
Yes, sir. Just want to make sure that
It's grant money that is
Grant money.
specific.
Yes.
For the police department, for the fire department,
department
they're
is
asking for
not.
$8,700 to repair ladder 2.
Right.
That is not in your budget.
And
We
it's,
had to make emergency repair.
right.
That was
It's
not
emergency
budgeted.
repair, and is it gonna move from one line item to the next, or is it
No, he's
additional
asking for
funding?
additional funding.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're
Additional
not supposed to
funding, or
budget.
it would have left me behind on my 25%.
Right. So
What's
we're,
already been done?
It has been repaired.
yeah, it was that or shut it down.
it's something that needed to be done regardless.
done.
So,
So, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Fire Department Chief, you have anything?
Just to let everybody know, we're very close to completing the hydrant servicing program. So that'll be ending here shortly. Thank
Blowing
goodness.
and servicing hydrants?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I know it's stirs, it shakes the system up, but it'll settle back shortly.
No matter what we do,
It doesn't matter.
that's right.
And if it was a structure fire or whatever, and you had to hook to the hydrant, it's still gonna get the same thing.
I can usually flow enough water to clear that up.
Right. All right, police department, we have nobody here for police department tonight. Engineering, change order, inner bulkhead, WC4 trucking.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. They, in case y'all didn't know, they started the inner bulkhead today. They began knocking down the stem wall. So
Yeah.
work is beginning and progressing, and,
Thanks, Courtney.
yeah, information is out there, so.
Only making progress.
We are making progress. I know everybody's, all of our social media engineers are wondering why it's taking 4 years. I just wonder why they didn't run for office and figure it out themselves.
That's right.
So, all right, got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have contract extension transportation master plan, Overstreet and Associates. We just need this for some bookkeeping to be able to allow us to continue within the contract. No change in pricing.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. This will extend out to December of this year, 2025. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have contract extension, Pineville Road sidewalks, Phase 3, Overstreet and Associates, the same situation. It's more or less a bookkeeping again to extend contract to December 31st without monetary change to the end of this year, 2025. Motion second for
So moved.
Second.
discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next one is another contract extension. This is for Pineville Road sidewalks, Phase 2, Overstreet and Associates. It's the same situation. Bookkeeping to December 31st, 2025. No price change. Motion second.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have La Rosa and Klondike intersection improvements. We talked about this, I think it was our last meeting. We asked to take out the road widening to come back with prices. Motion and second for discussion and then approval.
So moved.
Second for discussion.
Discussion. This has been reduced down to no widening, just to the paving. It will go up to the intersection and not include the intersection of Klondike and La Rosa due to the fact that we're awaiting Mississippi Power to remove a power pole so that we can do some improvements. And those additional improvements that will be needed there will be some additional footage of piping 40 foot in the north, 40 foot to the west to allow us to do this, which has been requested to us by the school because they're having trouble getting school buses turning there. And, but we could go ahead and pave the rest of the street, and once the power company moves forward moving that pole, we could go ahead and secure our pipe and go ahead and have Public Works get that in and move forward. Joe, y'all can do the work still, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and move forward with that. But I would like to go ahead and approve with the exclusion, we may need an amendment to this motion, to approve the paving and then look at the, come back and approve the infrastructure work of the ditches there when the power pole has been moved. If I could get a substitute motion and second on that.
Second.
You got a motion and a second?
And second.
A motion
This
and
will come out
second?
of, what is this, roads and?
Haven.
Haven?
Yeah, it's already been approved by the board. We were looking at the width of it. The road had been approved, but we didn't know, if the width needed to be there, but but we're gonna go ahead and go forward with just the paving and up to the intersection. And then once those improvements are made in the intersection, there's a drawing attached to what you have here. So, any more discussion?
What about the right-of-way that's in here? Are we gonna move forward with that now or during the infrastructure portion?
When we go to infrastructure, we'll look at the right-of-way that we need
Thank you.
at that point in time. This way, we're going to get the paving done at least, and then we'll work on the rest once we can move forward with that. All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we've got the the Castine Point Island, and this is what we were talking, Tyler, we were talking about before. This is a cost estimate is what we're looking at here. This is not the what we're talking about with subdivision order. This is a cost estimate for us to move that island back, remove the curbing, or is this to take the island out completely is what I think it's doing. It's taking the island out completely, putting in a new limestone, and then putting asphalt pavement over it. And we're looking at a cost of $20,000. I'd like to take a motion and a second for discussion and approval.
So moved.
Second for discussion.
Discussion?
Mr. Mayor, is, because of this, this is something the city would do, or is this something that would go in Phase 6?
Well, what has been done was approved by the city.
Okay,
As it
that
is.
clarifies then.
As it is, it's been approved by the city.
That clarifies.
And we got them to pull it, Castine developers, to pull it back 10 foot, I think it was, in hopes that that was gonna do it, and they did that. And now, I mean, you got school buses going there, you got trash trucks, you got just any number of, moving trucks, going in there, and we've got to do something with this, or we can continually have this problem. So I'm just, I want to bring this to the board's attention and let y'all make a decision, and we'll move from there, whichever way it goes. So that's the discussion, and the motion and second was to repair this as presented in the
My
memo.
last question, have we talked to Jared and Steve about this?
The last time we talked to Jared and Steve was that they were waiting for JLB repairs.
Okay,
And I think the heartache is between the two of them.
I'm very aware of that. Just,
Yeah, so-
okay, so on this as well.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm open to talking to Jared and Steve.
Well, I just
See if
felt
they
like,
would-
no, not necessarily to get them to pay for it, but let out of courtesy going, hey, look, we've found an error in our way. We're just letting you know we're coming to do this
We're
work.
gonna do it.
Instead of getting a phone call going, hey, what are you guys
Oh,
doing?
yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You
Yeah,
know.
no, we will definitely make an upfront notice to them, let them know, and call Steve and Jared Rickey and let them know that this, if this is what the pleasure of the board is, they'll definitely know it won't be offhanded to them.
Yeah.
The way I read this is we're gonna eliminate that island altogether.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I think that's the best
It's
route
gonna
to go
eliminate
at
the
this
problem.
point.
And, then we'd go back and address subdivision orders. We won't allow this in the future.
Correct.
Will it be striped?
We're gonna have to come back and do that for sure.
Okay, that's,
We're gonna have to
but
put-
that's
but
that's
gonna
being
be
addressed
next.
as well. Okay.
And the striping, we can take out of our road money.
There is an egress lane there.
Right. So, all right, we have any more discussion?
After all of this, Keeney, can you bring us an update on where we are, fund balances and stuff? Because we've got to improve a bunch of paving and stuff like that, so at the next meeting, if we could have that.
I think we just had that, didn't we, last meeting to?
Yeah, and actually, and I've given
we-
David and Tyler a budget of about 1.5 million for the paving, the roads that y'all are wanting. So they're
Right.
gonna have to cost out the list that you
Yeah.
give them.
Yeah, and we gotta remember too, when we talk about, I know this is off topic a minute, but when we're talking about these smaller roads, the tonnage of the asphalt goes up because of the small roads. So the cost may be a little higher on smaller roads, but, they would much rather do a mile road than they had a 150, 200-foot road, so. All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Joe, you have anything in Public Works?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Bob Paul is not here for recreation. Building Office, Mike, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Carrie, you have anything from court, babe?
Everything's good.
Okay, thank you so much.
Getting put on the spot now. Welcome to the big leagues.
I gotta say, she has done a fabulous job in there, And I couldn't be more proud of an individual that has come in and is doing such a great job. So I thank you for that.
Congratulations.
Yeah. All right, Harbor, Harry, you have anything?
No, sir, we're good.
Okay. Community Affairs, Courtney, you got anything to add?
Good.
All right, thank you. We have no derelict properties. Report from City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, I asked to address the matter with the board and let y'all determine how you want to proceed on it. We received, Stacy Dahl, City Clerk, received an email and a notice from the county tax assessor complaining rather loudly about our property, which of course is a city property down at the harbor, which is leased to Long Beach Harbor Resorts. And what the tax collector was complaining about is the continued history of the property being sold for delinquent taxes, and then on the eve of the 3-year deadline to redeem, the lessee redeeming the property and the work that it creates for the tax collector's office. I went behind that. I had some memory of it, but went behind it and pulled some instruments. The 2020 tax lien was redeemed on July the 19th of 2023, shortly before it would have been sold, our property, for taxes. The 2021 tax was paid in July of 2024, and the 2022 taxes are unpaid at this time, went to a tax sale in August of 23, which will be finalized this coming August, and the tax assessor notified us saying, look, this is a year in, year out problem. They're just riding a 3-year redeem to not pay their taxes on time. And it's y'all's property. Why don't you do something with your tenant? Our lease to Long Beach Harbor Resort, Section 8.1, real property taxes, states very unequivocally, lessee shall pay prior to delinquency all real property taxes assessed and levied against the leased premises. Clearly, that's not been happening every year. They're not being paid prior to delinquency. They're being paid after delinquency, just prior to and even after tax sale, but prior to the expiration of the redemption term, 3-year redemption term. So what I am suggesting to the board is that under the terms of the lease, the board authorize us to notify Long Beach Harbor Resorts that they have breached the lease, they are in default, and give them the 30-day notice to cure the default, or the city will deem it terminated and take possession. Now, I suspect what's going to happen is the same thing that's happened the last 4 or 5 years. They go down there on the eve of losing it and paying it. But the clerk's tired of it, our clerk, the city's gotten used to it, I'm afraid, quite frankly.
Right.
And the lessee is putting our property in jeopardy every year.
So if they didn't pay, goes to tax sale, we would, and they just said, we're out, the city would probably have to.
Well, the city wouldn't own it. Whoever bought it, the tax sale
Okay,
would
that's what
own
I'm
it.
saying,
And
it would
we'd have to
change
go
ownership.
negotiate
And then
getting it back, or
we
getting
have
into
to get it
litigation to
back.
get
We're
it
gonna
back.
go to court to get it back, and that's, we're talking about cost to us.
And
I
while we,
think-
every 3 years, should have to hold our breath
Right.
to make sure
Now-
that doesn't happen is ridiculous.
Let me go back to what you said about the lease, is that they have to pay every year. They can't be in default on their taxes.
The lease
According to
the lease says they should pay it prior to delinquency. The taxes come due every year. They don't pay it, haven't paid it the last several years. It goes to a tax sale, and you have a 3-year period to go redeem it before you lose it. And on the eve of that, they have gone and done it every year. They're about to be on the eve of the 2022 taxes, which are
Well,
overdue.
if you don't pay your taxes by January 31st of each year, you're going into delinquency.
Correct, 2%.
You're in delinquency, and there's a tax sale held at the courthouse.
Right.
And,
So
and routine investors go in and purchase valuable piece of
I
property.
guess where I'm going with this is it become January 31st of each year, they become delinquent, just like we would as individuals on our residential properties.
Which is what the tax collector suggested in her email, is that we make some type of schedule that requires them to abide by our lease and pay their taxes before they become delinquent, save everybody a lot of legal work and heartache.
I agree.
We've let it go on for quite some time. I think it just, I know the city clerk has complained to me, and I recall personally each year having to send a letter saying, pay these taxes, you know, it's about to be lost, so.
I mean, we could send them a letter right now and tell them, look, we want them paid in full, not just the taxes
Up to
from
date.
3 years ago that's about to go to sale. We want
Yeah,
everything
22, 23,
current.
24 do.
22, 23, and 24 needs to
They've
be
already,
become
22
current.
and 23 have already been sold.
Yeah, 22 and 20.
And that our interpretation is
And
not
paid
that
by somebody
you
else.
just don't lose it, that you pay every year.
Yeah, you're in, and this is not it sounds like a tax problem, it's a contract problem. They've got a contract in the form of a lease with the city. And part of that contract says you're gonna pay your taxes before they're delinquent. And they're not doing it, they're in breach of the lease, and it's a question of whether we want them to continue to be in breach, or do we want to enforce our lease?
I think we need to enforce it. That's my motion to direct you to.
Second.
All right, we got a motion second to enforce our lease. And with them enforcing this, are we giving them, I mean, what,
I believe you stated 30 days, did you not?
It's the lease requires a 30-day notice to cure the breach. And that's going to include the outstanding taxes, not just 22s.
22, 23, and 24?
Or is due, and I assume
Okay.
it is, then they
And
got.
they've
How-
got,
How far out would we be from a tax sale?
That typically happens in
But you're in August,
August is
you
tax
could
sale,
lose
yeah,
it.
so
That's
we've
why
got
we need
time
to
to
take-
protect
we need to
ourselves,
take taxes.
but we need to do it now. So 30 days from now, it needs to be made clear. If it's not, the lease is terminated?
I know that's, but
Yes,
Is that what you're
Yes, sir,
saying?
yes.
Y'all hear that?
The letter would say you are in breach of the contract. This is the notice requirement to cure the breach, or the lease is at the end of 30 days considered terminated, and we're going to take possession.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure y'all understood that,
I-
heard that.
Just, and we're going to specify the years included.
And the amounts.
Yes.
Years and amounts.
Should we send that same, not that other places down there aren't, but just send everybody down there a letter notifying them that?
No, we just need to check, hang on.
We need to check in and make sure where they're at, and then if they are in arrears, we need to follow up with them too, and we'll bring that back at the next meeting to address those. But this is being addressed. tonight.
Historically, it's gone year to year to year. Even, you know, when the tax collector calls you, it's time to do something.
Okay, all right, we've had a motion second before us. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, counsel. Motion second to adjourn.
Motion.
so moved.
And motion second, all in favor, aye? Aye.